Sleepers Podcast. We are coming to you live post 4th of July weekend, although Riley and I are recording this on July 3rd before 4th of July weekend. So hopefully our vibes are high this episode as if we're going into a weekend, and we'll help you ease out of a great holiday weekend surely. Riley has a mouthful of Icelandic yogurt right now. Riley, how are you today?
I'm great. We don't give free ads, so I'm going to cover up the logo here of my favorite boutique grocery store. But make sure you pick this up if you have one near you from Drader Toes. Wink, wink. Love a little Icelandic skyr. Love topping it with some peanut butter protein granola. Vibes are high right now. Temperature's hot on the Sleepers Media podcast. It's hotter though. You come for the action ahead of post 4th of July to kind of prepare you for your week. I'm excited to talk some hoops. I'm excited to be recording with you, G. Before today, it's been a little while, man.
Yeah, it has been a little while. We've been all over the place, both of us. You were rocking the NBA draft stuff for the channel with Dion. Cart and I were gallivanting around New York City, and now here we are coming home. It feels right. It feels good. Are you a trader hoe?
Some might say I am, yes.
I feel like there's multiple trips to that establishment from your household weekly. Is that a fair evaluation?
Yeah, multiple. Yeah, it usually does end up being 2 a week because I forget something there. And there's one in Chapel Hill. It's like 20 minutes away from my house. So, but usually if I like to go to the Chapel Hill Y to either play basketball, to play basketball or to lift. And a lot of times it's very convenient to just hit up the Trader Joe's on the way home, scoop my frozen chicken fried rice. That's a staple. Always have the wild caught cod or the wild caught salmon. Best place to get your wild caught fish and not break the bank. Love that. Great English muffins as well. Very fluffy. Yeah, I could go on and on about the staples in the Davis household there.
Or yeah, my wife is a trader hoe for sure. And I go probably once a year, but I'm also not a big grocery guy. I think I've talked to you about this before. Like it's my least favorite household duty. Like I just can't do grocery stores. I would rather do the order from Shipt or grocery delivery every single time. I get way too impatient. I don't like being in situations where I'm like surrounded by 63-year-old men and women with no sense of space, you know?
Hmm. I see that. I will say when it comes to going to a big grocery store, that's not my favorite. Like, do y'all have Wegmans in Michigan?
We have a Wegmans alternative, yeah.
Wegmans is a massive grocery store. The couple times I've like tried to do grocery shopping there, it's just overwhelming. I like Aldi. I like the Trader Joe's experience because it's very much you know where your things are. It's a smaller space. You kind of get in and out in 30 minutes. I'll usually throw on a podcast, get the work done, get out of there. Maybe pick up a little snacky snack for the drive home, and we keep it moving.
So is this a normal thing? You refer to snacks as snacky snacks? Is that a Riley Davis thing?
Yeah, I think it's a normal part of my lexicon. Yes.
Okay. All right. I might have to work that in. I'm unsure how I feel about it at this point, to be honest.
It's okay, my little stinker butt. You'll get there.
This is crazy, man. I can't duck it. All right. Anything else you want to banter on? How have you been? It's been a while since we've been able to do this. So what's new in Ryan
Yeah.
Davis's world?
Yeah, I've recently hit a point in my life where I'm like, I need more dry fit shirts today. I love my like casual males athleisure brands.
Sure.
Shout out to Roback. You can still use promo code SleepersMedia20 for Roback. Recently got a dry fit from Roback. Great, a little bit different material. Right now I have Viore. This was my Father's Day gift, which you and Carter somehow did not get. They have very, very soft shirts that are great for whatever physical activity you want to do. Right now, I'm walking multiple times a day with my dog, and for a while, I would just go with like lighter material, normal t-shirts, but it got to the point where I'm like, I just need to bite the bullet and invest in some dry fit, make it a lot more of a comfortable
Sure.
experience. So
You
been
must
an
be feeling
enjoyment.
good about the torso too. Dry fit. That's like we're talking about. It's Prove It week for Jay Hart, our socials guy, and Sleepers Got Talent. I feel like dry fit shirts are a Prove It day for the torso. So you must be feeling good.
Yeah, we're feeling good. Currently doing a little mini diet, eliminating sweets and alcohol for the next couple weeks. So more
Oh.
so based on health than anything, just because I had a lot of desserts when I was at Bald Head Island a couple weeks ago. A lot of Oreos, big Oreo binge guy when I'm on vacation. So just kind of figured cut it out for a few weeks, maybe reset a little bit, not get too used to it. But yeah,
You just confessed to multiple murders.
excuse me.
That's a serial killer move to diet the week of the 4th of July, Riley. You cut out
Well,
alcohol before 4th of July weekend?
gee, you know just as well as I do, we got kids, man. They're gonna be in bed by 7, which means we're not going anywhere. I'm still gonna be grilling, don't worry. But you know what? I'll see what happens having a burger without a beer.
Wow. Wow. I applaud the play. Honestly, I respect it. To me, historically, going through the past couple years, 4th of July has always been like the last final celebratory moment for me before I really quote unquote hashtag lock in. Because I'll usually when we get out of college hoop season after that Final Four trip, I come home and I'm like, okay, it's time to get healthy. And then I start doing the intermittent fasting and all that. But the issue is from April through the end of June, I'm hit with a successive Murphy birthday, Mal birthday, my birthday, Mother's Day, Father's Day, just back to back to back to back. It's chaos, and there's constant reasons to have celebrations, have
Hmm.
drinks, all of that. So I normally it's a slow grind. Like I see minimal gains, small gains here and there, but not fully getting across the finish line. And then I get to 4th of July, and it's like, this is the final, I get to have a fun weekend. After 4th of July, there's nothing to disrupt me being fully healthy. And by the time I get to the beginning of September, football season, then I'm like, oh, the gains were felt. So credit to
Mm-hmm.
you for just being healthy during 4th of July weekend, but you're a better man than I.
Well, with I'm not a cocktail guy really at all. I'll have like one or two cocktails a year, so that doesn't feel like a big sacrifice. The big thing is just like I really enjoy the combination of burger plus beer, and I will be hitting the grill this weekend. Uh, I've recently realized that the best place to get a burger in the triangle is my house, and I've been experimenting with various seasonings, various way like grass fed, ground chuck, 80%, or excuse me, 20% fat. That's the way to go. Mix a little Lee and Perrins Worcestershire, your seasonings of choice. Maybe sometimes if I want to get a little spicy, I throw in some yum yum sauce, give it a little
Sure.
Asian flair. Mix all
Sure.
that together, throw it on the grill. And I did realize not being able to pair that with a Two Hearted Ale or another comparable IPA will be a sacrifice this weekend, but just trying to be more disciplined in my life in general. So
Wow,
we'll get there.
respect. That's why you can wear dry fit shirts and I can't. It's really nice. Yeah, quickly, the only thing I don't like about you is that you're not a cocktail guy. We're gonna have to work through that at some point. Either I'm gonna have to accept you for who you are, or you're gonna have to accept that you need to drink cocktails to be my friend. One of the two. The jury's still out. Lastly, I'd like to ask you more about burgers because I made burgers on the grill last night, and I'm feeling pretty good about my recipe. Can you give me from start to finish? What is your current? You're making burgers tonight. What are the ingredients? What is the recipe?
Okay, so once again, you got to start with the beef, the ground chuck, 80/20.
You
Don't
picking that
try
up
to.
at the store the day of, or what's the move?
Yeah, for sure. I'm probably hitting up the fresh market. That's where
Okay,
I like to get most of my meat. There's no non-awkward way to say that. So get the ground chuck. I always do go with the Lee and Perrins Worcestershire. I think that's the best brand. They're the OGs for a reason. Definitely gives it that little extra added flavor. Throwing a ton of salt and pepper in there. Real cloves of garlic, probably mince one, put it in there. A little bit of sriracha, and then I have this like smoked seasoning blend. It's like I got it from a World Market. It's like a smoked chef's blend seasoning that I'll throw in there too. Mix it all together, get the grill going, and 4 ounce patties, 4 minutes per side. Get it somewhere between medium to medium rare. Personally, I like mine more medium rare, but usually people I have coming over tend to prefer more medium. I think that tends to be the consensus among my friends. So I try to cater to both. Brioche bun, make sure you throw those on the grill, get them a little crispy as well.
brioche bun, a great move. Are you? How thick are we going for the burgers when you make them? What's the move there?
So I try not to make them too thick and always do the little indentation with the thumb in the middle. Because remember, I'm not a Blackstone guy. Not that I'm against it. I don't have one. I know
Sure.
you're probably a smash burger kind of guy, but I probably go like quarter-inch thick just to make sure it cooks evenly across the way. Yeah.
Okay, respect. Toppings, anything like that? Anything of that nature?
So recently, I've been doing just your standard ketchup, mustard, and then a horseradish sriracha aioli.
Mm.
I really like to use that. A good tomato. I love like heirloom tomatoes. If I can get one of those on top of a burger, that's a go-to. And then just whatever standard lettuce you want.
Wow. Okay. All right. Very nice. Can I hit you with my go-to, what we did last night?
Please do. I want to
All
hear
right,
it.
so similar thing. I'm going to the fresh market. I'm grabbing the fresh cut, just have it in the fridge for a couple hours. That's it. Meat. I am seasonings. I got a homemade burger seasoning actually that's from a family friend that we get constant refills of. And then I usually just do a little salt and pepper, maybe a tiny little bit of garlic powder. Boom, push together. Last night we were serving 3 people, so I'm giving you my full process here, Riley. 6 small patties. That's the move for 3 people. 6 patties. We're smashing them on the grill, and then I'm doing grilled onions with a little bit of garlic butter mixed in, and then a little bit of this is crazy, a little bit of soy sauce mixed in with the onions. And then bacon in the oven, not on the blacktop because we burn the bacon if we do it on the Blackstone. So we do the bacon in the oven first, let that grill while we fire up the grill, bring it out, you plate it, you cut the bacon in half. We got 2 patties each, both perfectly thin smashed. We're going bacon on the bottom patty, covered in cheddar cheese. And then we're going grilled onions on the top patty, another slice of cheddar cheese, smashed together, brioche bun, toasted on the Blackstone, put together. It's phenomenal. Just a phenomenal burger. Perfect mix of everything.
Those grilled onions sound like they take it over the top too. I love grilled onions. I think they'd be great on the Blackstone. When you mentioned too the cheddar cheese, cheddar's usually my burger topping cheese of choice as well. Got to give a shout out to Carter who posted his. He sent us his Blackstone spread from a couple weeks ago. Tear the cheese in half, make a little cross pattern to put on the burger. That way your cheese burns on the grill less.
Yeah, it's a really smart move too. It really is. The boys have been grilling. Okay, the boys have been grilling, and 2 of the 3 boys will be drinking this weekend as well. But that's okay. Lee, we should probably get to the show. I'm doing comments today, right? Is that how this works when it's just you and one of us?
Yeah, I mean, I had a YouTube comment of the day, but if
Sure,
you want
hit
to do
me.
Discord comments, so this was on yesterday's full ep where we got a still no 2025 Players Era Festival coverage. Question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point, question mark. Come on, the matchups have been out for 2 days now, and this is a college basketball show. Come on, guys. Um, Players Era Festival didn't really move me last year. The format was weird. I didn't like how no one attended it. I think eventually we probably should do a video on it. But that, like, I don't like the direction that these MTEs are going. I miss the days of Battle for Atlantis and Maui being the flagship showcases, and it seems like those days are dead and gone, dead and
Oh, good Lord, man.
gone.
Yeah, I'm with you. I was not moved by the players era. I'm not going to get overly into it, even though I think Michigan's in it. I think Michigan plays Auburn, and that's an exciting game. But I don't know. I'm such a pre-Thanksgiving week guy that the players era feels like it defeats everything for me because it's so big. It's ripping the good tournaments away from us.
Yep.
And it's something I felt like last year none of the players involved even cared about. Like it felt like Dylan Harper was the only guy who even wanted to be there. And even that was, I don't know, so misleading because Dylan Harper didn't want to be there the rest of the season. So I'm out
And there,
until we get a good product on it.
no juice in the crowds either. Like that's the
Yeah.
one thing about Maui that I always love is the gym is packed, you know. And the Maui field this year sucks. Atlantis isn't for much better, and yeah, I'm sad about it. But I'll still watch the Players era. But they are in a prove it year for me. Going back to the
Yeah.
thing, yeah, the prove it
They
week.
they need one great competitive year and then we'll all be okay with it. But until then,
Yeah.
like show me something, Vegas. All right, let's get to the Discord comments. Shout out to the Discord. We had a great day of Discord comments yesterday. Jumping right in. We're gonna start with Just Snacky, who says, "Would you buy a potential 13-8 season from Big Z's Zvonimir Ivisic after seeing what Brad did with Tomislav and after a full summer with Fletch, where he hopefully gains 10 to 15 pounds? I think there's a lot of potential he evolves into a solid option for the Illini while having some more reliability on defense."
13 points, 8 board averages for Zvonimir Big Z Ivisic in an American college basketball season. No, I do not buy that whatsoever. I said this in my Riley Everyday video on the Illinois Balkan Boys. Tune into that, Illinois fans, if you haven't already. The mystique is worn off for Big Z. I think he can be a decent role playing big who will catch some lobs, knock down some threes. But come on, he's going to average like 6 and 4, and it'll be a solid year if he can play 15 minutes a game and not get toasted defensively.
This might be a spin zone, but if the question is just could you see it? My answer is yes, I could see it. The reality is this, it's going to be one or the other though. It can't be both. You can't have 13 and 8 from both Zvonimir and Tom. It doesn't work.
Mhm.
So, if you think
Right.
Tomislav's better than Big Z and Tom averaged 13 and 8 last year, then Tom should only build on that and Zvonimir is going to have to be a bench guy. But going back a year and a half ago, everyone would have told us they thought Zvonimir was the better player. So I think there is a world where Zvonimir has just been grossly misused, and who knows, maybe he shows up and is immediately better than his brother. But it would take a lot of balls from Brad Underwood and the rest of the staff to be like, hey, Tom, you gave us 13 and 8 last year, but you're worse than your brother. Go take a secondary role. I can't imagine that would go overly well. So I'd be shocked, but I think there is a world that Zvonimir is very good. Mutant Matt says the Detroit slander is insane. Had a blast when I went to Bears versus Lions on Thanksgiving. Also, it's like one of 3 American major cities where you may literally swim to another country. Did you hear the Sophie Cunningham Detroit slander this week?
I saw it made its rounds, but I didn't watch or listen. No.
Yeah, she just came out and with WNBA expansion was like, I don't know how excited people are going to be about going to Detroit. And Cart and I took that personal and complained about how she averages 5 and 4 in the state of Indiana. Have you ever been to Detroit? Any thoughts?
Have not. No. I'm sure it's a
No.
great place.
Would you like to visit Detroit, or do I need
Uh,
to insult you to your
Absolutely.
face?
No, absolutely I would. Come on. I get to hang out with y'all. We get to get a Detroit slice.
Yeah, Detroit
Yeah.
slice would be nice. It would be nice. Okay, Malik Perry has the first flurry, I think, of the week. How special I am to be able to be the recipient of this flurry. Happy Riley Fridays, parentheses HRF Day. With your new college football coach still making headlines for things off the field, is year one more important or less?
Hmm. It's a good question. I still think it's more important because you need some actual results if you want to. Like Belichick, let's be real. He's probably not going to be at Carolina more than like 3 years. Just win the ACC one of those years. Show me something that's going to be attractive to transfer portal recruits. This is a conference where the man who won it this past season did so by not using the portal for the past 4 years and won the ACC. It's not that hard to win. I just need Belichick to give me one of those titles.
This is true. Riley, did you go to Catholic school, private, or regular? Because the priest and nuns used to be athletes, I swear, when I was in school.
I just went to a normal Christian school, not Catholic.
Did you have any sort of religious servers at your school? Or no? Like a priest or a nun or anything?
Oh, that's a good. No, we didn't have anything like that. No.
No. We had some priests at Lansing Catholic, but they were not athletes, Malik. I'm sorry. Coco Goff is amazing after what Sabalenka said. I'm glad she took the high road. Queens don't care what peasants say. She's amazing until she lost first round at Wimbledon. That wasn't amazing.
Can't say I've been tapped into Wimbledon, Greg. I'm gonna lean on you for
Well,
that.
Talbot is. I know he's
Yeah,
locked
Talbot
in.
is locked in. We
Let's
should.
get him. Can we get a Talbot like phone call for Wimbledon week?
We could probably arrange that. Yeah.
All right, we might have to work this out. The same way we got Sims on the show, I'd love to get Talbot for like a 15-second appearance. Malik says a sad congrats to Dave Parker for Dave Parker. He's a Hall of Fame, but passed away. He was fighting Parkinson's. He had a great nickname, Cobra. Moment of silence was a baseball player. For those who don't know, at Tristan Freeman, he's one of your legends. Does that mean a Pittsburgh reference or is that somehow inappropriate?
Either a Pittsburgh legend or a Hot Pocket spokesperson. There's one of two paths.
RIP Dave Parker. Malik, Ashton Hall. I'm tired of hearing this and seeing this big steroid muscle crybaby. He does nothing like most video TikTok people. Glad Speed beat his ass multiple times in a race. Crying ass.
I had no idea who I Show Speed was when I saw that he beat Ashton Hall in a race. I just assumed based on his name that he was some type of notable sprinter, and I was surprised to see that he does a lot of things other than sprint.
The streaming world is one that I am very uncomfortable in and unfamiliar with, but we were texting in our Sleepers talent group text this week about needing to start Sleepers streams So we've put this on Dion and Ralph to figure out because I think they're the biggest gamers of the bunch. But it
Mhm.
would be kind of fun if we started doing some like late night streams, maybe give people the live stuff that they've been looking for in a different way. We have a lot more from Malik here. Liked the Sleepers Got Talent, good candidates. Jay Money liked everything you said except who you play like. Keep that to yourself. Jay Hart, nice tat. And to Greg and Carter, good luck cutting this group. They all got something good to offer.
Yeah, I agree. A good candidate pool. I got very excited just watching the videos and thinking of ways we'll get to know them all better.
It was fun. It is fun. We're starting to get some of the graphic design submissions this week, and I think it's going exactly how I planned. We're seeing some different type results. More from Elite. Leave Sophia alone. She gave her opinion. It's not like she said something bad. I believe he's talking about Sophie Cunningham. I think her opinion was bad. That's my opinion. I will not leave her alone. Malik said, no offense, Carter. If you're in New York and there aren't people selling fake anything on street food, you're not in New York. So, of course, the pizza is bad. Don't disrespect the food now. Greg, you went Sabaros. I did not go to Sabaros, and I'm still mad that I didn't. Any 4th of July plans? I might eat and drink, watch the stupid fireworks.
As of right now, just grilling. I'll watch Joey Chestnut. I always watch Joey Chestnut on 4th of July.
Me too. Do you feel that as parents we're kind of graduating out of fun 4th of July's? Like I'm doing a parade with our kids on Friday morning, but I think outside of that we're not even like going to a lake or anything this year. It feels like I don't know, sadder than normal.
Yeah, we'll go to the pool. I mean, I think that's what we did last year. But I'm actually on I'm on like a 10-year streak of not watching fireworks, G.
Are you
I
not a
used
firework guy?
I you seen one firework, you've seen them all.
Wow, they don't do it for
We
you, huh?
No, I mean we've always usually see friends, usually grill in some capacity and hang out with people, but by the time when push comes to shove and it's like, yo, we got to go drive somewhere to go see fireworks. I'm like, have fun. I'm gonna chill here and watch a movie or something.
That is fun. I'm going to try and organize a family hot dog eating competition this year. I think that's where I can impact the weekend. So we'll see how that goes. But Blackstone, not great for hot dogs, surprisingly.
Mm.
You can make it work, but it's not as good as the char
Yeah,
lines from a
yeah.
normal grill. More from the league. I think this is the last one. Just found out about the WNFL. It's football for women. Only like three teams. I'm going to take an executive decision and not read the rest of this comment. Thank you, Malik, for your flurry. It was a great one this week. Sleeve says, everyone stay safe this weekend and enjoy the 4th. You too, Sleeve. Sleeve, you've been a great member of the community recently. Just wanted to give you a little head nod. I feel like I've enjoyed your interactions a lot. Thanks for pulling up to the BR rooms and all that. Pikel Please says, adding to what Malik said about Dave Parker, this dude was one of the coolest baseball players of all time. RIP. This is a picture of Dave Parker wearing a shirt that says, if you hear any noise, it's just me and the boys bopping. Kind of need that shirt.
I need a couple of those with the little sleepers basketball moon emoji underneath it.
Yeah,
Or
that's
logo
a
underneath
that's a
it.
really really nice shirt. All right, he is a Pittsburgh legend by the way because he's in front of a Pirates shirt. So, good job, Malik. That's the comments. Thank you, everybody. As we have been saying the whole time, I hope everybody has a great 4th of July weekend. We do not have well, this is after already. We did not have an episode on Friday. The whole channel took Friday off. So we'll be back with a vengeance on Monday. Off-season numbers have been great, by the way. Little State of the Union. Off-season definitely grown since last off-season. So thank you to everyone. What's next for us? Sleepers Got Talent, full month of July. We've got our State of the Program series coming back. We've got Meet the Transfers coming back. And then college basketball is almost here. So a lot more. Stay tuned. Coming your way. Without further ado, it is time to get to the show, unless Riley wants to speak from the Lord for the first time in months.
I do have a verse to read. This comes from John chapter 15, verse 5. It is Jesus speaking, and he says, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. This is a verse that has comforted me throughout my walk with the Lord in terms of thinking of my strength coming from him, in terms of thinking about his protection over me, how he watches over me, and that my role is to just abide in him and depend on him for strength. So, sleepers, you've been awakened.
Great verse today. I didn't realize how much I missed that until you actually got speaking on it. So thank you. God is also brought to you by NBA 2K Lab. NBA 2K Lab, great mini games. Go to NBA2KLab.com to see everything. They got College Football 26 coming out soon. They're going to have a lot of content in store for you there. If you're a gamer, you need to be on NBA 2K Lab. Let's get to the show. Topic one, what we got, Riley?
Topic one, Greg. I am going to start this segment off with a question, and that's this. What is your favorite fruit?
Watermelon.
What's your second favorite?
Probably a peach.
Number three.
I think I would go banana.
There we go. I'm glad that I got your opinion on bananas because today we are going to be talking about second bananas. I'm going to go through our favorite teams. I'm going to ask you who will be the second best player on that team this year. And I think this will yield to some interesting discussion. We might disagree who the first best player is. There might be some there's even some ambiguity where it's like the best player on some of these teams might be the first best. They might be the third best. Maybe there's a guy who feels like a safe bet to be the second best. I'm excited to see how this shakes out. Would you like me to begin?
Absolutely, I would.
G, who will be the second best player on Purdue this season?
Trey Kaufman-Renn.
How confident are you in that one?
100%.
Is
No,
there
98%.
is that 2% Omer Meyer?
1% Omer Meyer. 1% TKR is actually better than Braden.
Ooh. Wow.
It's a possibility. It's not one that I like to think about for long, but it's at least a possibility.
Can I go 90% TKR, 5% Omer Meyer, 5% Oscar Clough?
Clough. Whoa, talk to me on your Clough propaganda.
I mean, I think he's the most offensively skilled big who is available in the portal. I get there's probably some defensive concerns as there are with most Summit League transfers. But the Summit has produced some really good up transfers, whether you're looking at Baylor Shireman, Zeke Mayo. Those are only two Summit League players I can name, but let's rock with it and say that's a decent enough sample size. And Painter's had a lot of success with bigs. Whether you're looking at Zach Edey, whether you're looking at the big fella, gosh, why am I blanking on his name? Number 50, Caleb Swanigan. Like he's there's a track record you can point to with him having guys who produced at that level at that size. I don't think it's complete. Again, maybe I need to say like 7% Omer Meyer, 3% Clough because I do really see like if there is a dominant front court player, it's gonna be TKR. But I wonder if there's a world where maybe TKR takes a little step back and Clough is like a walking double double or something who gives you 15, 16, 17 a night, something like that. Not completely out of the world of possibilities.
It could happen. I think the biggest detriment to that happening is that they're going to need Daniel Jacobson for defense because
Yeah,
my big
for sure.
question with Clough is defensively. And people know this. I'm high on Purdue. They're my number one team. They're my national championship pick for next year. I have zero reason to doubt this. I think they're awesome, and I'm screaming over Myers' praises right now. But I've been trying to wrap my brain around like, how do I nitpick this? What's my spin zone? How can I fight these guys off? And I will say, it dawned on me this week everything Purdue did this offseason helped their offense and did not help their defense. So we have no questions about how good they are offensively. They were already
Mhm.
one of the best offensive teams in the country. Their defense stunk last year. If Oscar Clough and Omer Meyer are like the big additions here, I don't know how much better they got defensively at all.
Mhm.
They're going to need Jacobson to actually play minutes at the expense of Clough or TKR. And I think they're good. Not that Meyer's a bad defender, but like Braden
Right.
Smith, Omer Meyer, Fletcher Lawyer is not a great perimeter defense.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see where it goes. But yeah, I think that's fair. I like you're the first person I've heard be that high on Clough, so that's interesting.
I'm a Clough believer. We can move on to Illinois though. Who's the Illini second best player?
It's hard because it starts with defining who their best player is, right? And
Hmm.
I guess that's Tomislav,
Oh,
I think.
in my mind it was Andrei Stojakovic, but I think it might be Tomislav who's the best.
I think I would bet on Big T being their best player, and I think I would bet on Andrei Stojakovic at two. But I to me, those are the two correct answers.
Yeah, I think. I think I'm with you. I think Big T, Stojakovic at number two. You could convince me that Petrovic could take over and be the second best after Stojakovic, but yeah, I'm a believer he'll translate. Both of them kind of have some shooting concerns, but I think I'll give a slight edge to
I
Stojakovic.
think it would be a good thing if Petro was one of their top
Hmm.
two players. That would be advanced upside for me. And I think a lot of Illinois fans would put Kylan Boswell as the second best player on this team, but
Wow.
I'm not going there.
Yeah, I'm not either. I think it's either Petrovic or Stojakovic. Michigan State.
Oh man. Are you one of those people that thinks Cohen Carr is the best player on the team?
I am not.
Okay. Then he's in my mix here. But to me, it's got to be Fears and Kohler, I think. Um, I actually think Fears will be the best player on this team, so I'm going to put Kohler second.
Those are my top two. I have Kohler number one just because we've at least seen flashes where he was really dominant. I thought he improved a ton as a rebounder last year, and I think that was huge for Michigan State's identity. I think he could take, I mean, he doesn't really have a choice other than to take another leap offensively. He's got to become like a 15-point per game scorer. If he's giving you 15 and 9, let's say, I think he's probably the best player. So I have Fears at number two.
Don't hate that whatsoever. But we're very aligned on the top two duos right now.
Yeah, I know. With fears, so I actually did a Riley Everyday video on this that came out on Thursday. I went back and watched Fears FIBA U17 World Cup clips from like 2022. When he was healthy, he looked like Jeremiah when he got in the lane.
Chill,
And
chill,
he had really good
chill.
bursts that I'm like, there's a chance here. So let's move on to your team,
There's
Michigan.
also a chance that like Saturday Night Live hires me and I have a career pivot in my 30s, right? Like, yeah, there's a chance. Like, come on, dog.
Fair. All right, Michigan. Who's Michigan's second best player?
Oh, at least we know who the best player is here.
Hmm.
God, there's so many guys I would actually listen to for this. Like, I think it could be Merez. I think it could be Cadeau. I think it could be Kaysen. And I honestly think it could be McKenney. And no one's really talking
Oh.
about it. I heard he's been killing in practice. But I will put my money where my mouth is and say it's Merez Johnson.
One name you didn't mention is making me think I'm out of line for highly considering this and maybe, just maybe, even putting this name in my notes. Ade Mara.
He's the cut. I drew the cut right ahead of him. But there's a world where Dusty just gets him to do all the Vlad things, and Yaxel makes him look awesome the same way Wolf made Vlad look awesome. Like it could happen.
To me, when you're thinking of the upside, which there's a world where like, I mean, Merez really could just be mini Vlad.
Hmm.
Vlad gave you some floor stretching ability. Like Vlad can play on the perimeter a little bit. I'm just saying mini Vlad in terms of great hands, dunks everything, takes up space on defense. With Mara, I just like the upside with him being bigger, with him having some of the passing flashes that would make me kind of want to bet on him to be the one who Dusty truly unlocks. And Merez is a bench big who fills a role, albeit an important one, but more of a role player than like the second go to guy on the team.
I see what you're saying. I totally get it. I get it. All right.
Kentucky.
Oh! This one's hard for me.
Do you have OA first?
I have OA one. I think I'm going to say Jalen Lowe, and I think Kentucky fans are going to be really mad at me for not saying Quaintance.
Clayton's was the one I went to. Of course, there's the injury concerns, but I'm seeing him like a top five pick in 2026 mock drafts. And I like that he's at least already on the court in workout
I've
videos.
said it before. I cannot get there with that. I can't get there with that. I don't think there's anything freakish about a 6'9" center that requires being like a guaranteed top 10 pick. He's obviously a great defensive prospect, but he's 6'9". He
Mhm.
averaged 9 and 7 in 30 minutes a game last year on a really shit team. And I get he was playing seven, like he could be good. Mark Pope's going to use him well, no doubt. He's a skilled guy. That's the one that has confused me most of like he's on mock drafts. He's a 6'9" center that
Yeah.
can't even score 10 a game right now. Why? I'm confused by it, you know?
I think a lot of it's the high school pedigree and the youth. I mean, he was what 17 last year. People are banking that as he gets older and matures and gets better talent around him, there's a leap to be made.
He
I
shot
don't
eight.
hate.
He shot 18% from three and shot over one attempt a game last year. And the NBA is like, yes. Like what?
I like the low shot for what it's worth. I think he's a little slept on. Just, I mean, he played. I didn't can't say I watched a ton of Pitt last year. I know his numbers on the year were not good from those percentages, but the times I did watch him, he impressed.
I think he was really dynamic. I think Pope's going to get the best out of him, and
Yeah,
I'm just more confident in the production than I am with acquaintances.
for sure. Moving on to my team, UNC.
I got Trimble as the best. Trimble's not even going to appear in your two names. I'll buy your propaganda and say that Luka Bogovac is second.
Luca was my number two as well, but I had Caleb Wilson one, which
It's
I
so
know is
disrespectful to
misleading.
Seth.
I love Seth, but Seth is he's not Caleb Wilson.
Shiny new toy. That's the game you're playing right now. You have two shiny new toys, and they're going to be Ian and Drake, and hopefully they stay and are really good or go to the league.
Greg, I was playing with hand-me-down Legos last season, and you're expecting me to not gravitate to the shiny new toys? Of course I'm going to.
I know,
When
but
you watch your
Seth's
team,
good. I'm telling you, you're going to have to come to terms with the fact that he's going to be awesome this year.
we'll see. We'll see. Duke.
Oh, man.
I feel very strongly about my number two, and I'm going to make the case, but I'm curious to see where you go.
I think it's just got to be Isaiah Evans.
I would say Isami Damesar.
I'm not a SAR guy, but
I
he's
know you're
probably
not
my
because
answer for three.
so with Evans, I think Sarr is just going to be a better version of Isaiah Evans because he can do. If you watch the Isaiah Evans tape last year, it's almost all step in threes. Like he does a little bit of the movement shooting, spot up in transition, but he didn't really shoot inside the arc. I don't know if I buy him as a shot creator. I think Sarr can do a lot of the contested 3-point making, like give you a lot of the same like contested 3-point makes that Isaiah Evans did, but he's just way more dynamic with the ball in his hands. He's a better defender. And again, if you want to look at the competition he's played, I think he played in, I want to say 12 EuroLeague games, 15 games in the top domestic league in Spain, and like saw real minutes there to where I just don't really question how it'll translate to the ACC. Yeah, I think he's a lot of the people in our circle who are working in the industry view him as more prospect than player right now. But I don't know. I think from what I've watched of him, he can do a lot of the Isaiah Evans stuff with a more well-rounded game. I think Evans settles into that number three option.
I don't hate it. I thought you were going to throw a Kamini a shout here because he's looked really good with Team USA, and I think
Mhm.
that's my fears. I don't doubt Evans is going to be on the floor a bunch this year. I think there's a world Kamini like beats out Sar or takes minutes from
Mhm.
him, but
Mhm.
they're loaded, man. They're always going to be good.
Yeah, moving on to UConn.
I'm not going to overthink this one. I think it's Caravan.
Oh man, there's a lot of options here.
I
I
think
was kind of
somebody that's not Caravan will become like primary, whether that's Ball or Demery or someone, and Caravan is just too well rounded that he can't fall worse than the second best player on the team, you know?
Yeah, I think you sold me on Caravan. I was ready to say Demery and that ball's the best, but actually I think there's a world where Demery is the best, just that he thrives as the lead guard in that system. But
Me too.
Caravan feels like a really safe bet to be. He feels like the safest bet to be number two, I'll say, even though
He's the
he
guy
could.
you have to lock in because like he's not good enough to be the number one, but this team
Mhm.
finally has enough that someone's gonna be the number one, and Caravan's just way too good of a number two, you know?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, like that.
BYU.
AJ DeBonsa is the second best player on BYU.
Oh, I kind of wanted to go there, but I'm sticking with Saunders. I'm like, I'm not overthinking this with how good the band's supposed to be.
I will say, if you are watching the World Cup this week and you're a Richie Saunders believer like I am, what Michael Brown is looking like is what Richie Saunders could look like at BYU next to AJ. And there's going to be a lot of games that AJ is bored and Richie is going to get his 30. I think that could happen.
Let's close it down with Indiana.
um, I'm so mean to Indiana. It's so fun for me right now. Are we saying Wilkerson is number one?
You know what? I originally said Wilkerson was number one, but it's gonna be Tuck. We got a little, it's a little nepotism coming to Bloomington. Tuck is the number one.
You're probably right. Let's go Wilkerson too. That feels right.
Yep.
Numero dos.
Greg, do you know how many college basketball coaches ever have won multiple national titles?
Are you triviaing me in the middle of a full episode right now?
I am triviaing you in the middle of this full
Wow.
episode.
I feel like we had this question actually on an unreleased trivia video, and nobody gave me a firm answer on it. So I'm gonna guess like 11.
16.
Okay. All right.
16, I 16 seemed a little low. I would have thought it'd at least be 20 by now, but it's just 16. Right now, here are the active coaches who have at least one. We have Todd Golden, we have Tom Izzo, we have John Calipari, Scott Drew, Rick Pitino, Dan Hurley, and Bill Self. My question is, who is the next coach who will get to multiple national titles? And I think it's an interesting question because do you see, excuse me, the names I read are just one, are the guys who just have one, if that wasn't clear. Who will be the next to get their second? I think it's an interesting question because it's like, do you bank on someone like John Shire can get to two before Golden gets to two? Can Cal make one more run at it? Can Scott Drew make one more run at it? Can Izzo make one more run at it before he retires? Who do you think will be the next to get multiple national titles?
I think this answer is easy for me. I think. Because I don't think Scott Drew will get another. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think John Calipari will get another, even though he's very good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Tom Izzo is particularly close to getting another. So I think most of the ones with one to me are pretty much out of it. And as you alluded to, the question then becomes, are you going to take Golden to get a second over anyone that has zero? I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't take Matt Painter over Golden. I wouldn't take Shire over Golden, even though Duke's really good. If he couldn't get over the hump last year,
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to buy the stock. I don't think he's going to have a better team than the Cooper Flag Con team for a couple years. Um, Oates can't do it. Few can't do it. There's not that next guy. Dusty May, Pat Kelsey, no thank you, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Lloyd, no thank you, not yet. I'm just gonna pick Todd Golden. Because I do feel very strongly Todd Golden will get a second, and they're gonna be in the mix annually at this point, don't you think? Like I don't expect a huge dip at any point.
I think as I was hashing this out, there's just a chance that we're out of a golden era of coaches and we don't see anyone else get to two for a while. Because
Yeah.
as I was looking back at this, you think about even going back to the mid to late 2000s, there's always these young coaches who get to the precipice and you think, oh, it's only a matter of time. Like in the late 2000s, what would you have set the over under for Thad Matta national titles? If I asked 15-year-old Greg, like how many national titles is Thad Matta going to win before he
Probably
retires?
over under two.
Yeah, I would have thought multiple. If you had asked me in 2019, how many will Chris Beard win? I would have said three, maybe, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that brings up a really interesting question to like, do these guys have staying power? Is there anyone that we see really molding themselves into like that perennial threat? Or with the balance of the sport now, with the portal, with NIL, is this going to be a bygone era?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. It's a really, really good point. Yeah, so I do think we are in between eras. It kind of feels like how the NBA goes in chapters where you have like the LeBron era, the KD Curry era, and then it's like, who's next? Is it Wemby? Is it Flag? Is it Anthony Edwards? We have a lot of young talent, but we don't know who's who. That's how I
Mhm.
feel about the state of college basketball coaching right now. Like the Twilight Hall of Famers are on their last breath. And who knows? They might be here another decade. They might be here one more year and disappear. The next era that we're waiting for, to me, the names that are included are Todd Golden, Mark Pope, Pat Kelsey, Dusty May. I think you have to put Kevin Young in it based on what he's doing at BYU. And I think if you wanted to go Oates and Tommy Lloyd, they probably belong too. I would say it feels like those seven are sort of the next seven. Some of those might job jump. Maybe Chris Beard works his way back into it. Maybe Grant McCaslin becomes a guy that we consider part of it. But to me, we don't, it's like of those seven, some of them are going to become legends and some of them are just going to become names we remember.
Mhm.
To me, Todd Golden already having one just gives him the heads up, and there's no reason to think any of those other six will win two before he'll win one more. You know?
Yeah, yeah, I'm with you. I think with some of these guys, I don't know. Like, there's part of me that thinks Golden will need to jump jobs before he gets a second. I don't know if he'll get a
Think?
for Florida. I think Oates needs to jump a job before he gets one. I think McCaslin does as well. Maybe that's like overly simplifying it and living in the past too much. Because I know Texas Tech, for instance, with McCaslin is really well resourced. I just still think there's something where it's like I struggle closing my eyes and picturing Grant McCaslin cutting down the nets multiple times at Texas Tech. I kind of
Yeah.
struggle seeing Nate Oates even do that at Alabama, even though he's gotten to a Final Four. So
Yeah. No, I will say if this answer would have been easier for me, it wasn't that hard, but it would have been easier for me if Houston won the title because I would be like, Samson's going to get another. Like,
yeah,
I
yeah.
do think Samson will get one in the next 5 years or so with how good they are every year. But again, hard to get two when you got zero, you know?
Mhm.
Interesting.
I'm
That
with
was
you.
fun. Third and final topic today, Riley. What are we doing?
Topic number three. I'll credit you for the idea on this one. We can talk this college basketball video game and who would have been on the cover for. We can go back 5, 6, 7 years, see how many we get done.
I forgot that we were doing this, but I'm excited for this. This came to us from a Discord comment, I believe. Somebody wanted us to go back all the way to the Blake Griffin year. And that was the last year the video game came out. So basically, we got to figure out who would have been the face of the video game every single year. You want to work backwards, or do you want to start all the way back at the Blake Griffin year?
Let's work backwards.
Okay. All
So we'll
right.
start with this past season, right? Or do we want to start from this upcoming season? Who'd be on the cover?
Why don't we start this upcoming year? But I guess question the way it used to work, they would put graduated players on the cover, but now we're in the NIL era. But we weren't in the NIL era like 6 years ago if we're going backwards. So how do we want to do this?
All right, we this might be way too complicated. We will keep current players on until we get to the 20, actually until we get to like the, you know what, let's just do the current players because I have some good ones that I want to get on here.
All right.
We're working hypothetically. It's always been NIL, baby.
It's
So
always been NIL. So a player in that season can be on the cover. Okay.
mhm.
So for this upcoming year, 26, this is a gut feel too. I don't know how much freshmen are going to be on this.
Right.
So I think it's just Braden Smith.
I do too. The only other option I would entertain is Toppin in case there's some Purdue fatigue because Edie's going to be on the cover of one of these.
He is. He is. Or maybe there's like they do the alternative covers and Braden is on one, and then the like three freshmen are on the other, AJ and DeBonsa and
Oh,
Boozer. Or
uh-huh, uh-huh.
yeah,
I like that. I
that'd
like
be
that a
good.
lot.
All right, back to 25, or excuse me. Well, I guess it'd be college basketball 25 after the 24 season. Ugh.
I think it's either RJ Davis or Mark Sears. They were the highest profile returners. Sears coming off the Final Four run, RJ with the All American season for the one seed Tar Heels. And I think they both had sky high expectations. Elder statesmen, fifth year seniors who were like consensus top three players in the sport this time last year.
Was Broom viewed that way? I'm trying to remember back.
I think Broom, we would have had him as like a top six player in our rankings, but he hadn't ascended to the level that he reached because he played less than 30 minutes a game.
Yeah. Okay. Why don't we we can be creative with this and they sometimes they put multiple players on a cover. I think it's RJ and Sears.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
RJ and Sears. All right, then back to 24. This would have been what coming into the UConn second title after the first one,
Mhm.
but
Yep,
it's also the Edie year.
correct. Edie Klingon were the two that I was between. I think we go creative with another dual athlete cover and a little foreshadowing of what the national championship would have been. I think you have to have some UConn. It's maybe I feel this way in hindsight just because we know that UConn went back to back, but I feel like you need some sort of UConn representation there. And Klingon to me feels like the face of the team for of that second national title team, and he was playing a key role for that first as well.
I think you're right. I think Edie Klingon is the easy answer. All right, we're doing a lot of duos right now, but that's okay. Back to 23. We were coming off a Kansas national championship. Isn't this maybe just Jalen Wilson?
If Jalen Wilson was gone after that year, though,
No, he was back one more.
Jalen Wilson was back a second year.
Jalen Wilson was their star in 23,
Oh, you're
and
right. I
they
completely
lost
forgot
to
about that.
Arkansas in the second round. Yeah. Yeah,
I
it was like
think,
Agbaji the year before.
yeah, yeah. Wilson feels like a safe bet. Obligatory Caleb Love mentioned that coming off the Final Four run and Carolina, quote unquote, running it back. We all
Oh,
know
well,
how.
that's actually, I forgot Carolina had everybody on that team. So honestly, isn't it just the Sports Illustrated straighted shoot? It's
Gosh, I
Baycott,
think,
Love, and RJ.
yeah, probably.
UNC trio is on the cover of the sport. Yeah, good call. That was fun. All right, 22.
It's Coach K.
It's his final year.
Yeah, you know he gets the cover for his final year. Yes.
That's so good. It's so
You
true.
know exactly. That's exactly what they would have done. I would have hated it and still played the game.
You're so right. All right, 2021. This was the COVID championship, but coming off the year before it, we were just coming off the pandemic. We knew Gonzaga was going to be really good, and it probably just drew Timmy.
I'm saying it's so I like a montage of like a number of notable names with like a bunch of fans in the background, as sort of a rallying cry, like we made it through, we're back. I think they totally lean into like this one is for the fans. That would have been the tagline. This is for the fans.
I love your marketing brain right now. All right, I'm putting Timmy plus fans for 21. 20. Is
This one
there a
was
game in
easy.
20?
There is because that season at least started. This one was one of the easiest for me. It's Cassius Winston.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yep. Cassius Winston gets the video game title the same year he got his COVID title. That's impressive. All right, 2019.
I said first freshman mention we're gonna get RJ Barrett, like in a Duke jersey, because he was the headliner of that class. This was like the peak of the Duke. I'm not gonna apologize for saying this. This was the peak of the Duke propaganda recruiting machine, where they were preseason number one. It felt like every year because of these loaded classes, and RJ Barrett was the face of that.
I think it would have been RJ and Zion and maybe even Cam
Maybe
Reddish.
Cam Reddish sneaks in there.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah,
yeah.
we can go with that trio
We're gonna
for
call it the
sure.
Duke trio. All right, let's fly through a couple more because this is fun. 18.
Do you put someone from Villanova? They won the title that year. Do you throw Brunson on there? Was he big enough of a name yet, or is
We were
that
coming off a North Carolina title.
Joel Berry would have a shot? But I've given a lot of Carolina love so
Dude,
far. So
honestly, this sounds crazy, but why do I feel like it would have just been Luke May? Like it would have been one of those we look. It's like when Peyton Hillis was on the cover of
yes.
Madden.
Well, I think Luke May broke out that season though. So if anything, he would have. They might have leaned into like a Tobacco Road thing for the 19 cover and done Barrett and Luke May because that was after Luke May was like a third team All American in 2018
That's
preseason
true.
program.
That's true.
But I
Uh,
do I do love the Peyton Hillis comp. I'm
Honestly,
looking.
I'm going to make an executive decision. We got to the point where we said Luke May might be on a cover, and I feel like we should end the exercise there. This is going nowhere from here. That was fun, though. Thank you, comments. Thank you, Riley. One big thing presented by NBA 2K Lab. Fun to do this again with you, Riley. I missed you. How are you? One big
I
thing.
miss you too, man. My one big thing, this book right here, How to Catch a Dinosaur. Do not buy. It is terribly written. It's an embarrassment to literature. The rhyme scheme is off. There's so much potential with it. I don't know how it's a New York bestseller. New York Times, you're on Fraud Watch. My son loves the picture, so you get a mention there. But do you want me to read an excerpt from it?
Yeah, please give me the worst page of How to Catch a Dinosaur.
Okay. So the premise is these kids are like trying to catch this dinosaur in a plot. Dig this. So they're setting up all these traps to catch the dinosaur. The dinosaur is eluding their. Who would have thought the dinosaur is not going to be caught in your pool full of slime? So this, I think, is the worst page where it says this dinosaur is apparently a female. They figured that out. It says, was she watching when I tested each trap with my action figures and toy bricks? It's like she knows how each trap works. Can it be she's onto my tricks? Very clunky rhyme scheme. This is the trap. They're trying to catch a dinosaur with some sort of magnet. The dinosaur is randomly on a skateboard. Also, you use the word trap twice here. Also, what is a toy brick? What kid plays with toy bricks? This book is lazy. Any editor should have caught this. I would rewrite this. It's really easy to rewrite and make the rhyme scheme make more sense. It's had me in this has had me in just like a trap mentally because yeah, my son always wants me to read it to him, and it's not good.
I still think you and I as a duo could write a great series of children's books that are like college sports adjacent, like how to overcome your biggest enemy and rivals and persevere and extinguish Coach K. Like that would be really easy and a great lesson for us all. but yeah, there's a lot of poorly written books. I have the same takeaway as you. My one big thing today is I want to give some love to the new Russ album, which I have been in the middle of some takes that I've been giving to Only Carter and no one's heard me say. But Riley, I'm going to say this and you might get mad at me. Russ is what Jack Harlow wants to be.
Oh, okay. I need to listen.
This
I've heard of
it's called
Russ. Okay.
Wild, and
Uh-huh.
I love it. Can I put you on one specific track and you start there and tell me what you think?
Please do.
I'm gonna send you it right now. It's called Embrace. It was the audio of my latest IG drop that I'm really proud of. I just sent you the track. Please give me a full report by late afternoon.
Will do.
Have a great fourth, everybody. Thanks for listening. I'll be back on Monday.